Hello, how are you all doing out there? This is Tyrone Milade, your goddess guru, and I want to come on and do an astro case study. Um, just totally fascinated with what's going on with Dave Chappelle. And so whenever I start seeing somebody in the media quite a bit, it's like, wonder what's going on in their chart. But one of the reasons we look at people's charts, I won't be looking at anything other than maybe a little bit about his personality and what do I think is going on right now. I'm not trying to be making no predictions about his life because that's intrusive. But it does help people to see what when something is going on with someone who's in the public light, just how astrology can help you to see what's going on in your own life. Okay. It really does matter. It's a spiritual science that it's very sad that it's not around. And so, look, I'm gonna need for y'all to help me out. I'm gonna need for y'all to, give some insight, input. I'm not following the story closely, but maybe y'all have some insight on why is Dave Chappelle like what's going on with Dave Chappelle? Of course, Eileen is gonna be here. Hey, Queen, how you doing? All right, Eileen, let's talk about him. So, Eileen, you had called it. You said, I believe he's a Virgo. Yes, he is. He's a Virgo, a 1 degree Virgo. So, this is something that's new for Dave Chappelle. Um, because whenever a planet is at the beginning of a sign, that's an indication that this is like um, a new mission that they're on. So, he's a Virgo. Not only is he a Virgo sun, he is a Virgo rising. Okay. Yep. August Virgo. August 24th. Yep. August Virgo. So Virgos are known. Bonsoir. How are you, Diza? Virgos are known for being the ones that's gonna pick apart the problems. Virgos are like, you know what? I see what the problem is. And I'm going to tell you what the problem is. You ain't going to tell no Virgo to be quiet. A Virgo would be like, I'm sorry. I just got to let you know, like, this one thing is wrong. I'm like, seriously, y'all need to fix this, right? So we know Dave Chappelle, actually, he's really good at calling out problems. And yeah, that's it. Like he can see things for what they really are. And he knows what needs to be done to fix it, whether or not people do that is a different story. But that's really interesting that he's a Virgo rising. Hey, Talina, how are you? Yeah, he's a trip. And Virgos, you're not gonna stop a Virgo from telling the truth. Okay, tell the truth, shame the devil. That's what the Virgos are like. All right. Okay, so something else that I see here. Hey, Fallon, welcome. Another thing that I see about Dave Chappelle is so if you're a Virgo rising, you automatically have Gemini on the 10th house. Or if you're a Virgo sun sign, you may find that you are drawn to do Geminian things. And so one of the signs that comedians are known for is Gemini. Okay. A lot of comedians look at when they're born. They're born during Gemini. Geminis are quick witted. They are very funny. They love humor. So they're very quick witted and they have the gift of talking. Geminis will talk quite a bit. And so here we have Dave Chappelle, a Virgo rising with it's called an MC. The MC in the chart is where it has to do with your career point. Okay. So he has his career point in Gemini. So if automatically we're just like, okay, maybe you could be a comedian who will be calling out problems. He's not going to be making up no BS. He's not just up there talking about stuff for the sake of talking about it. He's going to be doing comedy that's about Virgo type things. But I can tell you, he looks like a Virgo. A lot of Virgos are, I call them like olive oils. There are a lot of Virgos. See, he's a Virgo rising too. So a lot of times you're going to see Virgos, they're going to be long and lean. Um, and so, yeah, he's very Virgo esque and thin. Even when Dave Chappelle was a little bit thickish, he was still very lean. And so his a career sign is the sun. And so we have this sun in Virgo. And so, yeah, yeah, definitely he could be a comedian. Now, another thing that I find interesting about Dave Chappelle, that's what I was going to say. The sun is ruled by, or it rules the sign of um, Leo. And so he's creative. Like we consider him to be a mastermind, because let me tell y'all something. Virgo is very smart energy. It is one of the smartest signs out there. And the Leo is like natural genius, like blow your mind type creativity. And so, or like giftedness, I'm gonna put it that way. And so he has Leo on the 12th house, which in a way makes him a little bit like he has that no nonsense type of humor or whatever. Like he's going to be funny and he'll even laugh at himself or whatever. But he has this energy that's a little bit, or his comedy, as I can think of it, is sort of tough. And so that might be some of the reason why he's getting in a little bit of trouble, because he's not making comedy just for the sake of it. Like, this is not like just, I'm just going to say something funny. No, he's like, I'm getting ready to tell the truth and shame the devil. Right. So he has in Leo, Mercury. What does Mercury rule? This career house up here of Gemini. This man was born to be a comedian. I think also, let me not say that. I was going to say also, I sort of feel like having that part of fortune in that house also is bringing him some good fortune. Like, I bet Dave Chappelle, which y'all tell me if y'all know, because I really don't know a lot about Dave Chappelle. I wonder how he gets his comedy. Like, where does it come from? I bet you some people would describe it as like otherworldly. Yeah, I bet he has like some type of creative genius that's like, it's just brilliance. And it's like from some other place. That's what I see with those placements in Leo. Now, why do I think he's so popular? Because his 11th house is Moon in Cancer in the 11th house. He also has Saturn up there, which would make me think what I'm going to say about this is this man was born to be in front of a crowd. And part of what he was called to do is for him to make sure he stands out. He does have like this no nonsense way about him as a result, because Saturn is no nonsense. His humor is ruled by this 5th house of Capricorn. Everybody knows Capricorn is not like, hey, sweetie. Now, Capricorn can be sweet, y'all. Okay. I'm talking about the pure energy of Capricorn. Y'all Capricorns, y'all lovely. I love y'all. But the pure energy of Capricorn is sort of like not playing with you. Okay. I'm not playing with you. And so he was born to be creative and to stand out in front of a crowd and to shine. He really and truly was born to shine. He has Venus over here in Libra. This makes him very creative also. And something that I really need to go back and study some of my astrology classes, and I'm going to look at y'all's comments. But sometimes when you see Pluto in the 2nd house, sometimes, not all the time, this person will be rich, because Pluto, think about the word plutocracy. That's Pluto. Pluto is like the ultra rich. And so, yeah, that could be one of the indications of why he's ultra rich. But, he has Venus in Libra. That's very creative. It's like he can make money doing something artsy. Um, Now, the one thing I will say is that Pluto and that Uranus being in there. So Pluto is like a destroyer, and Uranus is a disruptor. And the second house is to a certain degree where you can make money. And that this is the kind of art he brings. He always has brought some like very powerful. That's another word. Powerful, disruptive, transformative art through comedy. Um, and so, yeah, that tells me something about his energy. And let's see here, square, all of this square, his Saturn. So, this to a certain degree speaks to why he does get a lot of pushback. Like, he has the kind of energy where it's like, see, these two houses, this Libra and this Cancer, they clash, they square. And so when you see that red energy, it's like there's something challenging going on. And that's actually like the energy of Mars. It is the energy of Mars, the warrior pushback from the higher ups. But see, the thing that he has working for him is his moon is in Cancer, which is the home sign for the moon. And it's in the 11th house. It's part of what makes people love him. Y'all, I don't know if y'all noticed, but people are like, I don't care what folks say about Dave Chappelle. I love me some Dave Chappelle. They not giving up on Dave Chappelle. Folks be loving their Dave Chappelle. All right, Eileen. So wait a minute, Talina, are you a Virgo? Because I've been seeing you chime in. Are you a Virgo? Or are you a Capricorn? I think you might be a Virgo. Mm, yeah, he's a disruptor. His comedy is gonna be disrupting people. Oh, your sister's a Virgo. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, so you are. Yeah, yeah. Virgos ain't no joke. Okay. Okay. Let me see here. What else do I see? So he has Mars in Taurus in the ninth house, and so what that says to me, because I have Mars in Taurus. So when you have Mars in Taurus, man, that can give you some endurance, some energy to you like the energizer bunny with Mars and Taurus. And see, Taurus is art. And it's in a house that has to do with higher, it's like being a guru. So, I see he has guru energy and it's connecting with his moon, which he can just say stuff and people gonna really love Dave Chappelle. Like he really has the energy of people just love him in his chart. Something else that I noticed about him is he just had what's called a Jupiter return. So this is the planet Jupiter, and this is his natal Jupiter. So at the end of last year, he experienced what's called a Jupiter return, which is a time of rebirthing. And oh my gosh, has he been rebirthing himself? It's like everybody loves Dave Chappelle, but he's just blowing up because Aquarius is the airwaves. Aquarius is being broadcasted out, right? And so, he's just blown up and with this Saturn and this Jupiter. Let me tell y'all, we're going to be hearing more from Dave Chappelle for sure. There's nobody who's going to be able to stop Dave Chappelle because of this placement. I think it's going to be one that, as long as his health stays okay, he is going to have to work on his health, I think. But this energy of Jupiter with Saturn, because he is working with this energy, apparently, it is setting him up to be very powerful and transformative because, see, Aquarius is also the energy that has to do with the activists and, being an activist for, the common person. It's like everybody deserves equity and equality and all that. That's what Aquarius is about. So let me see here. Yeah. And see, the sixth house has to do with problems. And so, yeah, he will be always putting out talking about problems. But of course, we know Dave Chappelle is controversial. So one of the reasons I think he is controversial, I'm going to show y'all a different chart, is mm, I want to show y'all what's called a progress chart. Shoots. Let me see, which one is it? Maybe it's this one. Did I pull up the natal chart again? It's hard to see. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna do. Let me just take down his natal chart. Which one is this? Oh, this is transits from the 5th. Okay, I'm gonna take this one down and try again. But we have what is called. I call it a What do you call it? Let me see if this is the one. Yes, I think this is it. The progress chart. I call it an evolutionary chart. And so, yeah, just know that that first chart that we looked at, it was a snapshot of like at the moment that he was born, but then his chart continued to evolve. Okay, it happens for all of us. So this is called the progress chart. And I was looking at his progress chart like, oh my gosh, Dave Chappelle is, oh my gosh, he's living out these charts. And so one of the things though that the first thing I always look at is like, where's the moon and where's the sun? What are they doing? Where are they in relationship to one another? And they're in what is called a full moon position. So man, Dave Chappelle is going to be really like, he's going to be standing out for at least another, let's see here, the moon in the progress chart, the moon moves 1 degree per month. We're going to be hearing quite a bit about Dave Chappelle for several more months. This is not going away. The only thing that I do sort of worry about with Dave Chappelle, that like, is he really smoking those cigarettes? Because I'm just like a little bit concerned about his health. Yeah. Okay. But in this chart, my brother is a Scorpio rising. He's a progressed Scorpio. Baby, Scorpio is about power. It's about, I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear the truth or not. Y'all think about Scorpio. Scorpio's cutthroat. And I'm a Scorpio rising, but I'm a nice Scorpio. But it is a sign that is about power. And it's actually a sign that could be related to being very wealthy. And Mercury is in that sign. And so what is Mercury? It's talking. It's talking. And it's about, it's a sign that it's a planet that has to do with comedians. And, Dave Chappelle is just like in his power. He's in his glory. And so I think that that's something that is coming from these progressions, because you have your natal chart that you're living out, but it's like you change. Think about how it's just like sometimes you just wake up and you're just like, I'm not like that anymore. You just change. And so like when his son moved into Libra, I bet something totally changed. I would need to find out when did that happen. It happened 18 years ago. So what happened to Dave Chappelle 30 years ago? Can anyone tell me what changed for him 30 years ago? How old was he? No, what happened to him when he was 30 years old is what I want to know, because that was 18 years ago. Yeah. Is that right? Y'all, it's late. So if he's 48 minus 18, yes. What happened when he was 30 years old? I would be curious to know, because I know he had some problems and got blacklisted and stuff. He does have in his chart the energy of like having problems actually, as well as being pushed back from people in power. Let's see here. His son is still, well, in this chart, his son is in the 12th house. And again, this house, again, it has indications of being ultra wealthy. Sometimes people are ultra wealthy. If I remember correctly, it's something happening in the 12th house. Okay. But his son is in Libra in the 12th house. That's a very creative house. Leo is where his MC is. His progressed MC is Leo. And so this is about being a king. This is about being a leader. This is about being highly creative. And it's just a lot of creative energy going on here. But he always seems to have planets in the 12th and the 6th house. To me, that's a little bit like, we got to hope Dave Chapelle is going to be taking care of himself. Come on now, Dave Chapelle. Let's do this. Let me see if I see anything else that stands out about why is Dave Chapelle the way that he is right now. Okay, so I'm going to close this one out. And I pulled up let me see what y'all are saying. Okay, you're a Capricorn. Oh, okay. You and love might get along because y'all are both earth signs. Yeah, Capricorns don't play. He's got this Capricorn. It's something in his chart that is very much like a Capricorn, which is boss energy. Like Capricorns is like, I'm sitting up here up top. I'm letting everybody know what they need to do. And guess what? We finna do it. Capricorns and Virgos can get along. I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Hey, Monica. Okay, baby Boo Grace, that's strange. I thought Saturn and Jupiter stayed close together at all times. No. Jupiter stays in a sign typically about about one sign every 12, well, every year. It's going to be going through a new sign. Is how it looks. But it's between two signs this year. It was in Aquarius at the end of last year into the top of this year. It went into Pisces for a little while. Back in Aquarius, I can't remember. July is when it went back into Aquarius. Aquarius. And then it goes into Pisces next month, which is going to be really good, y'all. It's going to be good. And you know what? Let's see here. Dave Chapelle will have some changes happen. Once that Jupiter goes into the 7th house, the 7th house has to do with partnerships, and it'll change his life where there will be more support. I think it's going to be a good time for Dave Chapelle. He has planets in or this Saturn and this moon in this very powerful house. I'm going to tell you something else about this house. The 11th house is a house of good fortune. The 5th house is a house of good fortune. The 2nd house, I think the 2nd house can bring some really good energy. And then the 9th house. He just kind of has like a lot of energy of good fortune. He has a lot of energy that's challenging too, don't get me wrong. So this is from the 5th of October, because I looked at maybe I looked at when that show was released, his last show, where, it's all this controversy. I didn't hear everything Dave Chapelle said, but I know it's creating a lot of conversation about Dave Chapelle and the LGBTQ community, as well as the Black community, and their relationship to the LGBTQ community. And so one of the things that I noticed on that day is, I looked down here. He had a lot of planets in his 2nd house. What did I think about this house? Hold on one second, y'all. Let me think. What was it about that house? I should have wrote my notes down. Oh, I can tell you, he also had Venus in the 3rd house. Where's Mercury? Mercury was retrograde down here. Oh, okay. So one of the things that I noticed is Mercury is close to his Uranus. Where's Mercury? At 21 degrees. And his Uranus is at 20 degrees. So Mercury was right there with his planet Uranus. And what does Uranus do? Uranus is just going to say whatever it wants to. It's out there, right? And again, Uranus is a disruptor. And so he had that going on. The sun is at 11 degrees and Mars is at 13 degrees. Um, hmm. Now, one thing I will say is this has birthed something new for Dave Chapelle, because one of the things that I talked about in October was the sun and Mars conjuncting, setting off a new time and season for um, the Virgo house. And so for him, his Virgo house it has to do with money and values. And so, I don't know if that is something that created it. I definitely think this Jupiter in the sixth house has a lot to do with what's going on with Dave Chapelle, because, the other thing that I had noticed is Jupiter is sending a trine down here to Uranus. And let me see here. Yeah, sending a trine. And so Jupiter is this wisdom. It's this energy of being wise, but it's also the energy of expansion. And it's in the sixth house, which is talking about problems. But this Mercury with Uranus could have made him just be, y'all know how we be saying it, blunt AF. Oh my God. And I think it's interesting because of all of this Aquarius energy that I'm not going to say everybody, but it's like mixed reviews from the LGBTQ community. I just really feel like let them speak. Everyone from that community gets to say what they want. And it's just fascinating that so many are saying, I'm good with it. And then there's like outrage coming from other sects of the community. But Dave Chapelle is somebody who is for people having, equality. This is something that's important to him. He has a lot of planets in Libra. He has a lot of planets in Aquarius. And so even though he's blunt and a disruptive, this is what he came to do. He has the energy of, I want people to have equality, equity. I want things to be fair. So when people say he cares, someone else said they met him and he is like one of the most caring people you could ever meet. I actually can believe that. I actually can believe it. He's got some rough energy, but yeah, it's going to be real interesting too, because yeah, it's something about his health that I'm just like a little bit concerned about. You want me to look at yours, Ashley? Yes. I will be doing readings again pretty doggone soon. So at the end of the day, what I will say about Dave Chapelle is he is here to do what he is doing. Love him or hate him, Dave Chapelle is here to do exactly. This man is living exactly. He has chosen to channel his chart in a way that aligns with what he's doing. Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all something else. So his career point, the MC, is in the 10th house, okay, in Gemini. So we already know he can have a Geminian career, which means he's talking. He could do something with his hands. This is why he always has those cigarettes. Oh my God, because Gemini is the hands. So you might use your hands when you have Gemini as a career point. So something else that we do is we look at this first, it's called a decan, these first 10 degrees, and then the second 10 degrees, and then the last 10 degrees, 30 degrees, divided into groups of 10. Those are called decans. And so the first one is going to be, this is just a technique. So this is how it goes. The first one is Gemini. The second one is going to be Libra, because it's an air sign. Each decan represents one of these air signs, because Gemini is an air sign. So the first one is always the planet that's there on the house. So that's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay. So he'll be talking about something that has to do with society, something to do, and he'll be broadcasted. Okay. That's what that MC tells you, because it's in Aquarius, something about being on the airwaves, speaking in big groups. That's another thing. When you have energy in Aquarius, you will be working with big groups of people. Okay. So then the other thing we do is, let me see here, 2.5, 5. And okay, so 2.5 is going to be Aquarius. After Aquarius comes Pisces. After Pisces comes Aries. So this MC of his has, which is the career point, has the energy of Aries. What is Aries? Aries is blunt AF, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. This man is doing what he was called to do. Aries is a leader. This is the energy that's out front, and it's an innovator, and it doesn't follow, it leads. And Dave Chappelle has always been very unique and different, and that's something that's in his chart too. He's always been very unique and different, and so that this man is living this chart out. This man is, I'm actually like freaking impressed. And I do want to tell y'all, now I have no idea if Dave Chappelle uses astrology, but I'm telling you, a lot of wealthy people use astrology. They have shaman. And so, one of my goals is to just say, y'all, come on, let's do this. Okay. Let's up level. This is freaking amazing to see his chart and how he is living this thing out. Now, things that we can look at is, I'm telling you, he's going to have to work on his health. Now, he might, another thing, he might meet with some people are demanding to meet with him. I don't really know who. He might do it, even though he said it's got to be on his term because he's a boss. Dave Chappelle is a boss. You're not going to push Dave Chappelle around. This is why he has just, like, you cannot buy Dave Chappelle. And he's unstoppable. I just feel like that. I don't know. Y'all, we'll have to keep up with him. I just feel like he's unstoppable. Another thing that I'm going to tell y'all too is this Mars and Sun conjunction that we had in Libra. See, the last time it happened in Virgo. And, he's been doing okay for himself, but he's really blown up. A lot of Virgos would have found, man, I'm just really blowing up, or my life is radically changing. And so that's something else I think is interesting about him. But he has this energy where Dave Chappelle will always be connected to, I'm going to put it in quotes, the common man and woman, because that's what that sixth house is about. If you work in the sixth house, you're really trying to solve problems. If you have energy in the sixth house, you're trying to solve problems. You care about people a lot. It's very Virgo-esque energy. Yes, I study my chart and I'm a Virgo. You know what? Virgo is actually a sign that's really good for astrology. Virgos make some of the best astrologers. Mercury in ancient times was related to astrology. It was the planet of astrology in ancient times. So yeah, Virgos are really, really good with astrology. So yeah, okay. So blah blah blah. Jupiter is going to go into the seventh house, and so when it goes into the seventh house, it's something, I think he's going to be blessed, even though it might be with a little bit of stress. It's something to me that Dave Chappelle needs to work on with his health. That's all I can say. It's some transformation that's going to happen to him. And it's going to be over the next 2 years. We're going to see, I don't know anything about his childhood. I don't know if it's some healing from his childhood that is going to be coming up. The other thing, eclipses are going to be happening in Taurus and Scorpio. Dave Chappelle, this man's getting ready to freaking blow up. We think we done heard from Dave Chapelle. We ain't seen nothing yet. Um, he has a lot of planets on the, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planets on the left side, which makes him very much like um he's a self-starter. He has a lot of self-starting energy. Um so yeah, Dave Chapelle, this is gonna be so fascinating. This is gonna, but I think over the next 2 to 3 years, even though he's gonna blow up, I really want Dave Chapelle to work on his health. Oh, let me see here. Yes. Okay, I told y'all I was going to come on here and look at his chart, and I was like, I don't care what time it is. I'm going to go here and look at Dave Chappelle's chart because I'm so curious. So let's see what happens with him. Let's see, is he gonna need to do something about his health? Is Dave Chappelle really gonna blow up like I think he is? Who, you and Dave Chappelle? You went to Africa around the same time as Dave Chappelle. I need to do some extra case studies about him, like studying. Oh, let me just see if anything happened. I'm just on a different page. Did anything happen when Dave Chappelle was 30? Let's see here. 1994. I was 24, which means he was 21. Okay, let's see here. 98. I was 38, which means he was 37. Let me go back. We need to. Huh. Yeah, it looks like maybe. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look because I'm not good with 2003 to 2006, Dave Chappelle. So yes, that's when he started having some problems. I know around that time he had to have been around 30. 2003 to 2006, Chappelle show. Remember, I talked about his progressed son changed and went into a new house. And yeah, that's when he started having problems. And I'm going to have to look at what was going on in 2005 to 2013 that he had problems with, uh, being appearances. It's something in his chart. And he started blowing up around 2018. And I'm telling you, we could find something in his chart that speaks to why did he start blowing up around 2018? And what that's like 3 years ago. So yeah, he's just gonna keep blowing up. Yeah, man, that's cool, Ashley, that you were there with him in Africa. Okay, thank y'all so much for joining me. Looking at his chart. I bow to you, Ashley. I bow to you. I bow to all you goddesses. Y'all are amazing. I appreciate you. And yeah, let me know if there's somebody else's chart I need to look at. I just keep hearing about Dave Chappelle and I find it to be so fascinating. And I just really see why Dave Chappelle is, wow, it's not going away. This thing is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm so excited for Dave Chappelle. I don't know what to do. I just need him to get himself together on this health. Okay. Mwah. You're welcome, Ashley. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Let me know, like I said, who y'all want to talk about. Make sure you join the wait list so that you can keep up with the spiritual aspirin initiation. And yeah, y'all will see me again soon. All right. Thank y'all for everything. I appreciate y'all. I feel like y'all are home and family for me. So, okay. Hold on. Let me just pull this up real quick so I can make sure I have the right person. Deeza. Yeah, Deeza. Kimmy, because I don't know who this person is. Oh, is there anything going on with Kimmy? Oh, wow. This is Very interesting. Okay, I do see a lot is going on with him. Okay, let me write this down. Kimmy, is it Seba or Seba? I think Seba. I don't know. All righty. This is very fascinating. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, y'all take care. Thank y'all.